Oftentimes on my channel, you'll hear me talking about how there are some people out there that are grifting hard and tap dancing just as harder. Well, Mark Robinson is a perfect example of that. And I had forgot all about this guy until something recent popped up, came my way about him that I'm gonna talk about today. And I said, I definitely think I remember him getting entered into the Bed Bucking Hall of Shame last year, because I definitely remember this face and a picture of biscuits just smothered, like literally scattered in front of him in the thumbnail. But the reason why I'm talking about Mark Robinson today is because apparently they've uncovered a whole bunch of posts that he's made, in particular about women, over the last few years. Now, when I read through some of these posts, I'm like, okay, I understand you may have a strong opinion about some of these individuals. It is what it is. But a lot of this is just, him pandering very hard, definitely. And some of it is he's just being very petty. Now, mind you, this guy is currently in a gubernatorial race to become governor for the state of North Carolina. He's currently the lieutenant governor, but he's running to be the governor. I'm gonna be quite honest with y'all. I don't think he's going to win. I have a feeling this is all going to blow up in his face. And the crazy part about it is he said even weirder things in the past as well. I can't remember exactly what he said to get him into the Bed Bucking Hall of Shame when I did one on him last year, but I think it was definitely steeped in anti-blackness. But what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna read this article coming from HuffPost, and I'm gonna have different screenshots posted and scattered throughout the commentary as I go along, so y'all can actually visually see some of the stuff that he has said. North Carolina GOP gubernatorial candidate Mark Robinson is known for having a long history of peddling conspiracy theories. It turns out he's got a long history of something else too, and that is demeaning successful women. Robinson, who is currently the state's lieutenant governor and leading Republican candidate for governor, has lashed out at nearly 24 women who are public figures in politics and entertainment. A review of his Facebook posts over the years reveals a pattern of offensive and disgusting language in the way he talks about prominent women, including former First Lady Michelle Obama, singer Taylor Swift, and Vice President Kamala Harris. As for Michelle Obama, he said, he has repeatedly referred to her as a man. How many times have we heard that before? He said she speaks ghetto and Wookiee, referring to the language that Chewbacca speaks in Star Wars. He called her an angry, anti-American communist black lady and said that she emanates the stench of human waste. As for Kamala Harris, he called her a joke, a nitwit, and a leftist idiot who supports the right to unalive the unborn. He said of Hillary Clinton, he said he created and posted a meme with an image of Clinton. He also called her a witch and compared her to the Klan. For Nancy Pelosi, he says she is a bitter, angry loser who hates America, the devil, and a wannabe despot, and compared her to dictators, I'm gonna call him the Stash, Joseph Stalin and Mao Zedong. For Elizabeth Warren, he called her a dingbat and also compared her to the Stash, Stalin, and Zedong. For Frederica Wilson, he called her a lying, liberal, bottom-feeding pond scum leftist dressing like a rejected drag queen from Brokeback Mountain. As for Ilhan Omar, he compared her to a Klan member. For AOC, he has a bizarre fixation with Ocasio-Cortez, calling her dumb, stupid, a moron, a ish-head, complete idiot, a leftist lunatic who has been possessed by the political Satanism of socialism and as dangerous as cyanide and Kool-Aid. Now, we all know what it means when he said about the cyanide and Kool-Aid. That's definitely talking about Jim Jones. He also appears to have photoshopped an image of AOC's head onto the Stash's body. He seems to have an obsession with the Stash because he's linked the Stash to 3 women so far. He said those are just Robinson's attacks on women in politics. He's made disparaging comments about a lot of women in entertainment as well. He said of Taylor Swift, he called her trailer shift. He called Ellen DeGeneres Ellen Degenerate and a phony. For Jane Fonda, he called her an old witch. For Oprah, the Mammy Supreme Wigfrey, he accused her of being racist and implied that she aided disgraced Hollywood producer Harvey Weinstein's sexual abuse. As for Joy Behar, he called her a she-beast and said, "Shut up, stupid leftist," in response to her calling for Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh to take a lie detector test amid his sexual assault allegations. As for Alyssa Milano, he said she is a Hollywood moron, and in the same post called Hollywood a cesspool of drunken, drug-addicted, hypocritical leftists, P-words, and violators. Ashley Judd, he posted a meme accusing actress Judd of trading sex for an Oscar, which the meme said is not violation, it's actually much more like prostitution. For Beyonce, he said that she teaches our young women how to be hypersexual whores and that she's not a singer, and said hashtag she's a booty shaker. He also had this to say of Halle Berry, Mariah Carey, and Issa Rae. He commented on their outfits, saying they were dressing in see-through, ultra-tight, breast-bearing whore dresses to protest sexual harassment. For Cardi B, he claimed that the stench of indecency Americans are smelling is not coming from Pepe Le Pew, the cartoon skunk in Warner Brothers cartoons, but instead was coming from the garbage-like filth displayed by Cardi B. It says, but wait, there's more. Robinson has also condemned women in professional sports. For Brittany Griner, he said he made fun of the basketball player for being detained in Russia, calling her a leftist stooge with arrogant ingratitude who deserved to be in prison. For Lindsey Vonn, he called the Olympic skier a dummy and mocked her for being critical of Trump. And for Megan Rapinoe, he said the U.S. women's soccer player is a foul-mouthed, anti-American, and arrogant and disrespectful moron, stupid and an unpatriotic nitwit. Now, I want y'all to pay attention to all the stuff that he said. You know, like I said, it was a smorgasbord of women in there. He had PC women, black women, and even women of inside of the academy. And I bet you there was probably a whole bunch more in there as well, but these are the ones that they pulled. Notice how this man threw on the cape for these PC men in every last tirade that he gave when it came to defending them, such as Brett Kavanaugh and 45. And in 3 of those insults, he compared them to some of the most ruthless dictators the world has ever seen, such as the Stash, Joseph Stalin, and Mao Zedong. If you know your history, you know. So, and I just wanted to point that out to y'all right there. This man's got his tap shoes on, and he is literally doing the river dance right now. HuffPost reached out to Robinson, both his campaign and his state government office, to ask why the lieutenant governor has spent years publicly attacking and demeaning so many successful women, and neither office responded. Robinson's baggage is clearly worrying some top Republicans in North Carolina who are reportedly rallying around a new pick, wealthy businessman and attorney Bill Graham, to become their party's gubernatorial frontrunner. Graham, who unsuccessfully ran for governor in 2008, jumped into the race on Wednesday and is pledging to spend millions of dollars of his own money. And I'm not pocket watching when I say this, but I don't think Mark Robinson can quite say the same. Now, here's the thing. You see all of that stuff that he said right there? We know who he said it for. That's why when they reached out to him to ask, why did you say this? There was no response. That's how he feels. But like I said, he's catering to that party, thinking that's what they want to hear. But notice in the article, it came back and said they're worried based on the post that he's made right here and some other things that he has said in the past. That means they're scared of even having this guy in. And then on top of that, Mark Robinson, I don't know if you've looked in the mirror lately. I don't know if you even own a mirror, but let me go ahead and give you a plot twist, a spoiler alert. You're black. All this stuff that you're doing right here, at the end of the day, you're still a black man, and they're going to see you as such and treat you as such at the same time. So you can tap dance all you want, you can bootlick until you're blue in the face, but at the end of the day, you are still a black man, and you better act accordingly. I have a feeling this is going to blow up in his face, and I wonder if Kid Gravity is going to hear this video, because if he does, because I know he's in the political realm, I'm curious to know, Kid Gravity, if you're out there listening to me right now, what do you have to say about this? Because this is very, very, very interesting. It says he is, let me continue to go on with the article. It says he is joining a crowded GOP primary with Robinson and 4 other conservative candidates, including former U.S. Rep. Mark Walker and Dale Folwell. The state treasurer John Stein, who is currently the state's attorney general, is the leading Democratic contender for governor. Despite North Carolina being a swing state, Democrats have held governor seats for the last 30 years, except for one 4-year stretch with GOP Governor Pat McCrory. Current Governor Roy Cooper is term limited out in 2024. HuffPost previously talked to political analysts in North Carolina to get a sense of how Robinson, with his dangerous conspiracy theories and discussing attacks on women, came to be the GOP's frontrunner for governor. The consensus was that he has 2 things going for him that other GOP candidates don't: name recognition and Trump's endorsement. He represents the culture war of the Republican Party, said Stephen Green, a political science professor at North Carolina State University in Raleigh. Green predicted that if Robinson does become the GOP nominee, he will lose the general election in 2024. We have seen ever since the elevation of Trump, Republican primary voters again and again, time and time again, choosing the candidate who makes an awful general election candidate in a purple state. He said, my presumption is Mark Robinson will fall right into this pattern. So they're basically saying, granted, the thing that's working for Mark Robinson, such as Trump's endorsement, is going to work for him to possibly get the GOP nominee, but on the flip side, it'll work against him as far as him actually being elected to be governor. So it's like a double-edged sword. It's like it works on one hand, it works for him. On the other hand, it's not going to work for him. Like I said, I have a feeling this is definitely going to blow up in his face. And let me again give this disclaimer before I round out this video. A lot of the women that he had in here that he was talking about, a lot of them I've talked about on my channel before or in passing. A lot of them I really don't care for, but I wish I would spend the better time, the better part of my day, scratch that, the better part of my months, weeks, going on these endless tirades like he did, as y'all saw displayed on the screen, and what I've said in this video. Again, a lot of these tirades, if you see some of the timestamps, go back to 2018. These weren't things that he started saying just this week. It was put out this week. But as far as what he said, he's been saying this since like 2018, maybe even a little further back. But I think the earliest one that they got was in 2018. And if y'all look at that picture, that a couple of the pictures, and saw what I put up there or caught it, that's when it was posted. And he's still talking. And the thing is, I'm sure if you Google Mark Robinson's name right now, this is probably one of the more recent articles you'll find, but I'm sure there's some other stuff in there as well about him that's just kind of real shaky. But I'm telling you right now, he's feeling himself. He's feeling himself right now in a huge way. He probably feels he's untouchable. He probably feels that he's invincible and nothing's going to happen to him. But we shall see when that election rolls around in 2024. I have the strongest feeling he's not going to make it. I would actually be surprised if he actually did become the nominee, but I won't be surprised if he loses.